Welcome to the third scenario in this Secure Cloud Manager Branch dcloud demo, where we will discuss operational efficiency. One of the reasons why Meraki is a solution of choice for deployments with geographically distributed branches is the ease with which the network can be maintained remotely. Dashboard has many troubleshooting features. Here we will focus on wireless health, which helps with troubleshooting of wireless issues, and on Meraki Insight, as a way of troubleshooting user experience when using business critical applications. Still being in our London network, let's go to wireless health. This page gives an overview of wireless performance by giving us a percentage of failed connection in the desired time frame and the average wireless latency. It looks like all of the connections in the last hour have failed at this branch, so let's go ahead and examine why by clicking on connections. This page shows us steps that a wireless client needs to go through in order to get a successful connection. They first need to associate, then authenticate, then get an IP address from Dhcp, have their DNS request resolved, and then finally they have a successful connection. In this scenario, we will focus on the Dhcp issues that we are experiencing and demonstrate how the issue can be troubleshooted. The user-friendly workflow that you will demonstrate is unique to Meraki dashboard and is a great showcase for operational efficiency. Let's go ahead and click on Dhcp. Here we can see a list of failed Dhcp requests, and we can see that they are all associated with the access point 1.11. Go ahead and click on the access point to open the device page. And from this page we can see that Radius is performing well, DNS is performing well, and so is ARP, but it looks like Dhcp has an issue on VLAN 41. And VLAN 41 is the VLAN that our two clients are connected on, and also notice that they're using the guest SSID. So the first thing that a network operator may ask themselves in this situation is, what is VLAN 41 and do I have a Dhcp running for it? And I can check that by going to security and SD-WAN, Dhcp, and here I can see that Dhcp is running for VLAN 1, 5, 10, 20, 25, 30, and 40, but I don't have VLAN 41 configured. Now remember that our clients are connected to a guest SSID, and I have a VLAN 40 as a guest, so that indicates to me that possibly our wireless clients are being wrongly tagged. So what I can do is go to wireless access control, make sure that I'm looking at my guest SSID, and sure enough, under VLAN ID, I can see that I'm tagging all the traffic with VLAN ID 41. So changing this to VLAN 40 should solve the issue that I'm experiencing. Another common situation is for clients at a branch to have issues with a particular application. Meraki Insight offers a quick way to troubleshoot it. Go over to Insight, Web App Health, and here we can see a quick overview of the business critical applications that we're monitoring. For each application, we can get an indication if there are any potential LAN, WAN, or server issues. We will examine our CRM application in greater detail, so go ahead and click on that. And here we can see that our branch in London seems to be having some LAN and WAN related issues. By hovering above the indicators, we can see that not all of the clients are experiencing LAN or WAN issues. We seem to have one client which is performing well and two with unsatisfactory performance. We can drill deeper by clicking on View Trends. We will focus on investigating the WAN related problem, and immediately here you can see that the reason why WAN is marked as performing poorly is due to the relatively high average loss of 2.4% and a high average latency of 180 milliseconds. We can dive deeper by clicking on WAN and examining the graphs for goodput, HTTP response time, WAN loss, and WAN latency, all of which seem to have some abnormal values. We already noticed earlier, however, that not all of the clients are equally affected, so let's examine that a bit deeper. go to clients. Here we can see that Troy Underbridge has no issues whatsoever, perfect 100 score, whilst Ed Trucker on the other end of the spectrum seems to be having a lot of performance issues. So we have two clients in the same branch with significantly different WAN performance when accessing the CRM application. I know that our London branch has two WAN app links, so I'm curious to see which of these app links is being used. I'm going to click on server and I'm going to copy the server IP address. Next, I'll go to security and SD-WAN, VPN status. And I want to see the uplink decisions that are relating to the IP address of our server. And here I can see that the uplink decision is not always the same. For some source IP addresses, the SD-WAN engine is choosing to use WAN 1 uplink, and for others it is using to use WAN 2. If I click on either WAN 1 or WAN 2, and then click on all, I can here see that WAN 2 has significantly worse performance compared to WAN link 1. So I want to make sure that my SD-WAN engine is configured correctly so that the traffic is forwarded down the link which has better performance. Let's go to security and SD-WAN and traffic shaping. And let's examine the SD-WAN rules that we have set. Now in this list, I can see that most of my SD-WAN rules take performance into account. So for example, here we see failover if poor performance. There is one exception, and that is this rule here. All traffic originating from subnet 172.17.10.0 will be using WAN 2 regardless of the performance. Now we have seen that WAN 2 is performing poorly, so this is really not what we want. So we can go ahead and amend this SD-WAN rule, and rather to failing over if uplink is down, we can change this to poor performance. And the performance class that we can use, we can see here that we already have a performance class for the SRM that we set earlier. And this will be a fix for our issue, because now we'll be using WAN 1 for all of the traffic. What we really want to do is call our service provider and provide all this information that the dashboard has given us so that they can troubleshoot and see what is wrong on their end. And that brings us to the end of scenario 3. We took a quick look at wireless health and Meraki Insight to identify problems, and then used the dashboard to figure out how to solve the issues we had at the branch. All of this can be done remotely with no need for IT staff to be physically present. Make sure to check out the Secure Cloud Managed Branch demo script, which will give you step-by-step instructions on how to perform this demo. Thank you and happy demoing.